Good evening, Parker. It's a pleasure to finally have you sit down with me. I know you and I have been talking about this for quite a while, and I'm so honored to actually have you sit down and provide us with your time. I think this is a fabulous topic, one that actually a lot of people have been asking me for lately. So before we begin, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you do?
Well, it is an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Parker McFarland. I have started investing in real estate a couple of years ago, and I think it's a really good way to get ahead, and that more people should know about it. So that's what I'm here to talk about.
Perfect. So, Parker, that's actually a great place that we should start. Can you tell everyone a little bit about this investment property? I know a lot of people ask me about, getting started and finding the right spot, all that fun stuff. So, can you tell us a little bit about, where it's located, what type of house it is, and who you rent it out to?
So it's a single family house. It's a 6-bed, 4-bath house. The house is in Orlando near the University of Central Florida, and I'm renting it out to college students. I got started with that because I'll be quick, but there's a strategy called house hacking that allows you to, I think someone went over it in one of your previous videos I heard. And it's just a great way to get into real estate because you can buy a house for a lower down payment since you're living in it. And then you can rent out the additional rooms to cover all your costs. And that can help you live for free. And that's a great way to start saving money to buy more.
So, do you live in the house as well?
I did. I lived in one of the rooms for about a year and I rented out the other 5 bedrooms. And now since then, I only had to live in it for a year to satisfy my agreement with the lender. And so after that, I moved out. I rent the whole thing out. So I only had to put a 5% down payment on the house instead of a 20% down payment if I had bought it as an investment property.
Okay. And you talked about, being able to kind of leverage other rent payments to cover the mortgage. If we can we be a little nosy? What was the purchase price of the house? How much did you put down at closing? And, what's your mortgage and what are you collecting in rent? I mean, I'm
Of
curious.
course. Oh yeah. So I bought it for 317. I didn't, it's 317,000. I didn't initially want to buy a 6-bed, 4-bath because I thought it was a lot, but just the way the market was and how rent values were, I was looking for a 4-bed and I couldn't justify buying how much 4 beds cost versus how much I would get in rent. Just wasn't working out. So I started joking around with the idea of buying a 6-bed when I saw them popping up, and I just started seeing them and the numbers made sense. So I bought it for 317. The first year's mortgage, it was the PITI, principal, interest, taxes, insurance,
Mhm.
was $2,323.28. And I don't remember the exact, at this point, I don't remember how much each room, I rented out the rooms for different values. Like the master was huge. So I rented it out for more than the smaller rooms that shared bathrooms.
Okay.
But living there, not paying rent, I was over my costs. I was making about $400 to $500 a month after the $2,300, so around $2,700 I was renting out for. And that money is the kind of money you want to save towards your reserves for vacancies and any repairs you're going to have on the house.
So just to clarify, you were living rent free,
Yes.
having other people pay the mortgage for you, and you were making a profit of about $500 each month.
Yes, but like I said, I will clarify. What you want to do with that profit is not even think of it as profit. Really, you want to save it because things will come up, especially in COVID right now. I've learned things come up, and you want to have that money available to help you out if something goes crazy.
So what things have come up that you've needed to tap into that money for?
Well, since COVID happened, we've had the universities throughout the country closed down, and there's there's students who are living there, and oftentimes their parents are helping them pay the rent. And when classes went online, some people were still living there, still working, but if people lose their jobs and aren't working anymore, they're gonna have a hard time paying the rent. And then some students, since they were online, just decided to go home, and you kind of have to decide, is it worth it to try to go after them for the money that they owe for the couple last months, or is it better to just work out something with the people and work out some kind of deal, which is what I ended up doing. And luckily I had some reserves to handle. I was pretty much breaking even every month,
Mm-hmm.
but I tell the tenants that the utilities are going to be split 6 ways. And if two people aren't there, I'm paying for those 2 extra ways, which was cutting into my. So it was a little painful for a little bit, but that's why it's really important to make sure you have reserves.
Okay. And, you know, with everything that you've experienced so far, do
Hmm.
you think that you could have handled that situation differently?
Uh, do you? Not particularly.
Okay.
There isn't a whole, like, the only thing I could have done is pretty much be more conservative with how much I was holding.
Okay.
And I tried, when COVID, and no one really expected COVID to happen. And things like this happening just make it, should put in your head even more so that you really need to be prepared and, not be too leveraged so that you don't get into trouble.
Okay. So let's back it up a little bit. How did you learn to invest in real estate?
So I am not the greatest college student ever. I think there's a lot of different kinds of educations you can get, and college is great for a lot of people. But I've struggled through. I'm still in college. I've struggled in college, and I had a thought once, like, if I can't, if I graduate and my GPA is too low and I can't get a good job, how am I going to pay off my student loans? And I started thinking about that. Then all of a sudden, this concept of passive income came up by a YouTuber named Minority Mindset,
Mhm.
and he just started talking about passive income and how in earned income, you're trading your time for your dollars, and passive income is something that comes regularly, and it's something you build or put up or invest in. And so, and once I started watching his videos, I just kind of went down the rabbit hole, and just it was all I was watching for about 9 months. And this is my new education. Is I wasn't spending enough time on class on calculus, and I started just learning about all passive income. And I just thought houses were the best way to go. So I just started spending a lot of time watching YouTube videos, like by Minority Mindset. Bigger Pockets is really popular. If anyone's heard of it, it's big, and it's like Facebook for investors, and you can learn anything on there. They have hundreds of podcasts with really good information. And I just started reading books like Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a really popular one. That was kind of got the mindset shift. And yeah, so that's one of the first steps I think you need to take when thinking about investing in real estate. You really have to educate yourself.
I love that you talk about all the different platforms, though, right? You don't always have to learn something in a classroom setting. I mean, half of the stuff that I've learned since starting my own business has been things that I never would have learned in college.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a matter of trial and error, right? And, I know you and I, before scheduling this video, you were talking about how you don't feel like you're the expert in, house hacking and stuff like
Not at all.
that. But what it really boiled down to was you have a level of expertise and
Mhm.
experience simply because you're brave enough just to take the chance and you're learning from those experiences, right? And
Mhm.
people see me as the budgeting and financial literacy expert because I taught myself all of this information, right? And I think it's good that we're taking it in our own hands. um,
Yeah.
but